Parents said that this was a positive meeting. It was mainly a time for them to gain a full understanding of everything that's going on with the district. And they also got to ask the people who are making decisions about the district some one-on-one questions. Even if I wanted to drive off in this, like you said, I couldn't right now because as you can see, the tire has been slashed. It's flat. Two of them are flattened on this vehicle. It was all pretty good and calm till about, 20 minutes before the show started. It was like the weather went to sleep and woke up in a bad mood.
Best headwear we've seen on our newscast tonight. I'm digging that hat.
Mike, and I wore it just because I knew you would like it. I knew you were the only person that wouldn't think my hat was silly. But yes, winter weather here in Shelby County, but now in the area where I am, I'll show you what's left of that snow. If you come down here with me, this puddle, that's all that's left. There was a person who was walking in the park. He said it wasn't uncommon for him to take walks, but what was uncommon is that as he was walking by, he saw something floating in the water. He says at first he thought it was a crocodile, but as he got closer, he said that he realized that there was a person, a body in that water. So he immediately found someone with a cell phone, and then they called 911. I have a tiny riddle for you tonight. What gets stuffy, consistently flows, and can give you a headache?
Kinda sounds like a head cold. Close?
I knew you were going to say that. It's not a head cold. It's Highway 280. Not a lot of traffic right now, but at certain points during the day, it can give you a headache. How are you? We're having so much fun out here at National Night Out. We're mixing, we're mingling, we're dancing. There's free food, lots of festivities, as you can see. But the reason why we're here is for law enforcement, to meet the first responders and some federal agencies so that we can get to know them better. We saw some embers fly over and actually set a bush on fire, but firefighters put that out rather quickly. Now, Mike and Ani, one of the biggest things here also is if you're coming through this area, you're not going to be able to drive down University because it's been blocked off, and that could be the case for a while. Lupe Fiasco had a very touching moment. He actually brought a little boy on stage who is battling cancer to actually perform with him, so that was a very exciting moment there. But right now, we're all waiting for Snoop Dogg to come out, and I'm telling you, once he comes out, this Alabama's 13 platform will be rocking because I will be dancing on it myself. Here until 8 o'clock at Target. You can come out and meet the people, and you can come out and get in on the wobble with us. I'm going to go back to the wobble. I'll see you guys later. For now, we're live here in Alabaster. Kalisha Whitman, Alabama's 13 News.
Thanks, Kalisha. I never got to do the wobble on a live shot.
He told me he knows numerous homeless people who have stayed inside, and he told me that he has also stayed inside of that building before himself. Mike, lots of shelters in Birmingham, but they get full, and when they get full, people still need somewhere to go. A city filled with medical advances and a rich history. But there is another side to Birmingham that you may not know. Lorenzo Parks knows that side of the city all too well.
I live at the firehouse shelter.
He's homeless, and some nights there isn't enough room for him here.
When you can't get into the firehouse, you have to find you somewhere else to go.
And that somewhere else to go was here. Lorenzo says he's sure the people who died that were found under the brick and burnt wood where the house used to be were homeless. If you say that that particular house that burned, you have stayed there before?
Yes. It was about 4 or 5 months ago.
On one of those cold nights, Lorenzo says there were no more spots at the shelter. He found shelter in the house that was here with other homeless people.
Telling me, walking the streets all night. I remember a friend of mine, he was telling me about this house. Yes, Dan, when you go, it's empty. But it was a nice house. You can get you some cover and go on up in there and stay in there.
But he never knew the place where he thought he could go to seek shelter would be the scene of a fire investigation where 3 people died and 1 person ended up in the hospital.
My sympathy go out to the family.
Because he says he can't help but thinking it could have been him, buried beneath the rubble. The identities have not been released. An investigation into who the people were inside, what they were doing, and why they were there is still ongoing. For now, we're live here in Birmingham South Side. Kalisha Whitman, Alabama's 13 News. Mike, it is, and so far he's made it to 7 capitals through 10 states and has totaled more than 2,000 miles. He said this is his way of showing homage to the veterans. He says it's important for veterans to know the sacrifices they make are not in vain. From Virginia to Ground Zero in New York to Florida to Georgia, and now in Alabama. Marine Matt McEwen is walking for veterans.
Often when I walk away from a veteran, no matter what conflict that he or she may have fought in, they're usually wounded, prosthetics, or confined to a wheelchair, or even sometimes a bed. I walk away in tears, I walk away humbled, and it reminds me why I have to complete this mission.
A mission to every state, a salute to every veteran, funded with faith.
The first day I left, I had $40 in my pocket, my gear with me, and I had 2 sponsors on board. And I just kind of gave it to God, and it's almost 2 years now for me, and now we have 10 sponsors on board. We've raised over $7,000 for veterans, and we keep growing every day.
He started this because he says somewhere along the way, veterans have been forgotten, and this is his way to remind everyone to remember.
If you spot a veteran, whether they're in civilian clothes with a baseball cap on or they're in uniform, take 2 seconds out of your day and thank them. We don't want the gold star on Hollywood Boulevard or the ticker tape parade. We just want to be appreciated and remembered.
And with his flag in hand, state by state, he aims to make that happen. He's already gained more than 15,000 Facebook fans. Just log on to alabamas13.com for a link to Operation Walk America.
Kalisha Whitman's been looking at that story now, and I think you have one of the ways they're working on.
Jerry Tracy, it's so hot. I had to say both of your names tonight. I rolled my sleeves like you. You know, Jerry, I met a man today that said it's so hot he saw a bird flying with an umbrella on its head. Okay, so
I'm not buying that, but that's all right.
But seriously, you know, it is hot. And in Alabaster, they've set up some cooling stations. That's just one of the area cities that's doing that. But for some people, no matter how hot it is, they're still fine. The heat is nothing to play with or play in. Hence the lonely swing set or the playground that's shaded, yet there isn't a child in sight. Why try to beat the heat when you can avoid it altogether? But a little heat won't stop Cole Panazic's feet.
My parents think I'm probably a little bit crazy running out here in this heat.
He won't even let what his parents think stop him from making it to the finish line, let alone the hot temperature.
I enjoy it. It's good exercise. I'm the only one out here most of the time. It's a good way to clear my head.
And luckily for Cole and this dog, there are cooling stations set up here at Veterans Park in Alabaster. A fan and some sprinklers. Because Alabaster Mayor David Fring says sometimes the heat is more than people can bear.
It's kind of like stepping in a convection oven right now. You know, the later it gets in the day, and particularly if you're walking near an asphalt parking lot, one of the shopping centers, something like that, that just makes it even hotter.
And the hotter it is, the more Cole sweats. I can't tell you how he stands the heat, but I can tell you why he does it. Cole said when he was in high school, he weighed 350 pounds. So he started running in the park, and now he weighs 200.
I love running. It's the best thing I've ever done. It's changed my life.
So no matter if the temps reach the triple digits, Cole's iPod will be in hand, and the wind will be at his back. And it was hot out there today. Also, Jerry, there were water at some of those cooling stations just in case people needed a little, you know, extra hydration out there. And the Senior Citizen Center in Alabaster, help me out, Jerry, now when I start fumbling now, help me out. It will be open on Saturdays and Sundays from 9 to 6. And people can also register with the city if they know of someone who may be at risk for the heat. For now, we're live here in Birmingham. Kalisha Whitman, Alabama's 13 News.